Guys, it's me, it's Queen Outside Haru, and I'm coming to you today with another exciting edition of Ask An Aquarius. Okay, so if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and smack the bell. So today I was in the lesbian chat room, and I really need to stop going in the lesbian chat room, to be honest with you. I go in there, and every time I regret leaving a comment. Every time I leave a comment, I regret leaving a comment because they always start arguing over who's right and who's wrong. It drives me crazy. But at least today I got a good topic out of the deal. So this woman said, she made a statement, and it reminded me of a case I dealt with years ago, okay? And what happened was this woman came to me years ago because her Aquarius would not add her on social media, any social media. And they had been dating for a while, and she couldn't understand what the problem is. And she was like, well, he not only didn't add me, he blocked me on social media. So she's asking me what the deal is. So this woman today in the lesbian chat room was talking about the same topic. So I realized that this is still something that people have not gotten a grasp of. So I wanted to speak on it. And this is what I told her. If you're Aquarius or anybody of any zodiac, Aquarius, Taurus, Pisces, I don't care what they are, got you blocked or won't friend you on social media, it is a red flag. Now, I know that some people say, oh, I'm not dating nobody, nothing's going on, I just want my privacy. But when you start to ask them questions about what do you mean, it's very clear that the bottom line is that they're having inappropriate conversations that they don't want their significant other to see. So they don't want to add you on their social media. And if you're having inappropriate conversations, entertaining people, saying little slick stuff, getting fresh with people, and that's the reason that they're citing. I asked the girl, I said, why don't you want your significant other on social media? And she said, because she'll be asking me who's this and who's that, and she'll be asking me what did I mean by this, and asking me about my posts. Well, I'm 41 years old. And when I was young, there was no social media. So I grew into social media. As social media grew, I was growing. Okay? I didn't have my first computer until 1998. That was my first computer. It was an e-machine. It was a piece of crap. But it suited my purposes for the time being. So when I got my e-machine, and one of the first things I noticed about social media is that people immediately started to use it for treachery. Immediately. So I've grown with this, And my thing to her is that I've had dates and people that I've been in a relationship with on my Facebook page. The last time I was in a relationship, we had each other's passwords. My phone was never even locked. My phone isn't locked now. My phone is only locked if I go somewhere and I think something shady might occur, like somebody might steal my phone. That's the only time it's locked. When I'm in a relationship, my lover can pick up my phone and use the calculator, use Google, whatever, and they can answer the phone if I'm in the shower. Can you get that for me? Like, if you need so much secrecy and so much privacy that your phone and your social media, that's a red flag. That's a big red flag. That person, that Aquarius, that person is probably doing something they have no business, because there's no reason to be that secretive if you're not doing anything wrong. There's no reason for that. And the girl, everything she said to me, every excuse that she gave in this situation in the past when the girl was talking about her lover, every excuse she gave me, every excuse anybody ever gives me is always, there's things I don't want my lover to see. That's the bottom line to every conversation. Why can't they see it? What are you doing? And what happens is, what's funny to me is the Aquarius, especially because the Aquarius is really slick, the Aquarius will make you think it's you. So the Aquarius will be like, oh, no, ain't nothing going on. You just insecure. So now they done throwing it back on you. You see what I'm saying? So you're the one that's insecure. You're the one that has the problem. So the fact that I can pick up your children from school, I can take money out of your ATM, but I can't see your phone. I can go pick up your mama and take her to dialysis, but I can't be on your Facebook page. So you trusting me with life and death situations. You trusted me with your money, with your credit, with your name, but you can't trust me on your Facebook page, on your Twitter account, on your Instagram. Like, I don't understand why it's even an issue. And for the people who were seriously not doing anything, not using social media for that, they're not doing anything, they just want their privacy, I say to them, the small percentage of them that it is, and I'm going to tell you why I said that, I say to them, why would you give your lover a reason to feel insecure? Why would you give your lover a reason to feel jealous? Why would you give them a reason to feel like you're suspect? Why would you give them a reason to be suspicious? If nothing is going on, then what's the big deal? And that's the point. If nothing is going on, there shouldn't be an argument. They shouldn't be hitting you up saying, who is this? None of that should be going on because nothing should be going on. Nothing wrong should be going on. When my lover had my password, it wasn't not one time when she hit me up and said, who's this? Who are you talking to? And the only time it did happen was once, I'll give you that. And I was talking to somebody else, quite frankly. I didn't tell her that at the time, but yeah, I was. She and I were getting ready to break up and I was already talking to other people ready to move on. And she said, who is so-and-so? And I said, and didn't say nothing else. And we got into a big fight about it because I was like, look, this ain't working for me. Me and her was going through this whole thing and it just wasn't working for me. So the woman that I was talking to was a woman who was next in line, quite frankly. So my thing is that when it did happen, I was doing exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? So the reason why I say that it's only a few people who can really honestly say I'm not doing anything is because I have counseled countless people about this. I've been having this conversation for at least 5 years with people. And every single time somebody has come to me to read cards and said to me, my lover won't add me on social media, blah, 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 blah. Every single time there was infidelity. There was not one time when it was nothing. There wasn't one time when the person was insecure. It wasn't one time when it was nothing going on. Every single time I read for it, something was going on that they later found evidence of. Every time. So for me, that's a pretty strong track record. So I don't think about things in absolutes. I know there's exceptions to every rule. So I'm thinking, yeah, maybe it is some people who aren't doing anything and they're trying to keep their privacy for whatever reason. But the bottom line is that why would you give your partner a reason to be insecure? Your partner shouldn't feel insecure ever. And people who are lying, people, like I said, the Aquarius guy that I was telling you about in the first scenario with the young lady, he had a baby and another woman living in the same neighborhood. They were across at the end of the neighborhood. I'm talking about Germantown. For those of you in Philadelphia, the one woman lived on one end of Germantown, the other one lived on the other end of Germantown. Okay, and the woman who had the other woman was on the Facebook page, but my client was not. Okay, because the other woman knew that she was the other woman. And was dealing with the bullshit. She was putting up with it. So she could be on the page because she knew her place, the place she chose to let him put her in. You see? So I've never seen a case of it when it was anything else, but I know there's exceptions to every rule. So I will say that maybe there are times, maybe there are limited times, but I'm going to tell you in 5 years, I've had this conversation at least 100 times, and I've never come across a case where nothing was going on. Because if somebody fights that hard for privacy, they're trying to hide something. People don't fight that hard for that kind of privacy for their phone or for their social media. I remember one time a friend of mine grabbed her boyfriend's phone and he jumped up and chased her. And I was like, what's in that phone? I mean, he reacted so aggressively to get his phone back, that it was obvious to me, and I didn't say nothing, because when couples go through stuff like that, I don't say nothing. That's up to you to figure out about your dude or your chick, you know. And I didn't say nothing, but he was so aggressive about getting that phone back, and lo and behold, he was messing around in the streets. So my whole point is that generally that's what's going on. There's going to be benefits of the doubt. There's going to be people who are exceptions to the rule, but at 100% of the times when I've come across it, it has been exactly that. So until somebody shows me otherwise, I'm like, look, I'll admit that it may be some, but for the most part, they're hiding something. And like I said before, if you're not hiding something, don't do things to make your lover feel insecure. That's a bad move. If you're not doing anything and you're upright, let your lover see that. Be transparent with your lover. Be transparent with your husband. Be transparent with your wife. If you're not doing anything, don't do little shady, suspicious stuff like that. You know, speak up, talk, be transparent, be clear about it. Because the bottom line is that, like I told the girl, that's something I would have known in the first couple of conversations, because I'm an internet person. So I would have said to him, hey, I did a video. Let me inbox it to you. What's your Facebook? And as soon as they was like, oh, I don't Facebook with people I'm dating, I'll be like, oh, okay. See, that's when the Aquarius disappears. That's when we ghost on you right there. But now I would be like, well, I'm not really open to that kind of energy. And if we don't have full transparency, I'm not trying to go down that road. And I would discontinue talking to him, because remember when I told you, red flags. I don't push past red flags. That's a big one. That's huge. It's a red flag to you. I don't let my significant other on my Facebook page. I wish somebody would say that to me. What? Huh? Oh, okay. I'll holler then. I'm out. Because the bottom line is that there's something there. Something is wrong right there. Either it's somebody on your page that you're trying to, somebody's feelings you're trying to spare, or is somebody you're entertaining, or that you're flirty and your significant other doesn't like that. It's something along those lines. Like the girl said, she said, I don't want this person commenting on all my statuses, liking all my stuff. I don't want them to see what I'm talking about and asking me all these questions. Why? Why when that's your lover? I'm confused as to why that is. And then, like I said, people that are manipulative will make you think it's you. See, manipulative people make you think you're the problem. So when you speak to them and say, well, this is a problem for me, they like, why? Because you're insecure. And then you start feeling like, am I insecure? Oh my God, is that what an insecure person does? Oh, I don't want this person to think I'm insecure, so I'm gonna just go with it. And then you go with something that your gut is telling you is wrong, because you don't want to look crazy. You don't want to look insecure. Look insecure then. Look it then. If it bothers you, if it's not right to you, look any kind of way they want you to look, and leave them the hell alone. Because if they are that sneaky, if they are that secretive, then they have things that they need to be working on and cooling with and chilling with and doing. That's a game. That is a mind game all day. The one girl in the room said she'll be sitting in the room with her girlfriend and block her on Facebook when she gets mad at her. Kind of fucking immature ass game is that? What? You got one time to do that to an Aquarius, and you're going to be wondering where the hell we at. You're going to be wondering for the rest of your life too. Like, really. Like, just the games that people play. It's ridiculous. You got bigger fish to fry in a relationship than playing these little games. To me, these are no-brainers. When people do stuff like that, I just leave them alone. I don't argue with them about it. I don't get into a back and forth about it. And it's funny to me, because every time I've counseled somebody on this situation, every time I've done that cards in a situation, the person involved always told me the same thing. Well, it's this. They made all these excuses for the lover. Well, he said it's because it's his business, and he do promotions, and he don't want all the girls to know who I am because they're gonna be mad. It's always an excuse. It's always a long, drawn out one at that. And at the end of the day, every single time they will argue me down about this. They will argue me down. I had a Leo to argue with me about it for 3 days. And that's the one who's had the baby mom on the other side of town, on the other side of Germantown. You see what I'm saying? Argued me down. And he was like, no, you insecure, you crazy, you this, you that. He had her believing that it was no problem and she was just an insecure, blubbering female. You know, she felt like shit about it. So then she started defending it herself. But the truth is, he was doing exactly what she thought he was doing in the first place. Exactly. And had a baby on her. So I'm telling y'all, people will play these little games with your head. They'll tell you you're insecure when you're not, you know? And another thing, what's wrong with being insecure? Don't we all feel insecure at times? So how is that now become a negative? And why is it okay for you to do things that are suspicious that make me feel insecure? Like I said before, you never do that to your lover. I would never do anything to my lover that made them feel that way. Now, if they felt that way irrationally, then that's another thing. You know, because, you know, there are people who are irrational and you just leave the house and smile at somebody and they think you're having sex. you know, some people are that irrational with it. And I understand that you have those types of neurotic people. But for the average, ordinary person, if you were in this situation, 9 times out of 10, that person is hiding something or someone. And I would not sit there and play that game with them. As soon as that conversation comes up and you see that that's where they're going with this, and you usually know this early, people. You know this in the first couple of days because you say, oh, let me send you a video. Let me send you this. In the first couple of days, you're going to know this. They're going to put that up there the first couple of days. And that tells you right then and there, step off, don't mess with this person. This person is more than likely deceptive. And like I said before, nobody's ever given me a good reason. It's always, I don't want them to see what I'm doing. I don't want them to be drawn. I don't want them to be asking me a lot of questions. What they asking questions about? What they drawing about? What's going on? Because if it's nothing, it's nothing. When my friend had my password, she told me my Facebook was boring. She told me my Facebook was boring. That's the way your Facebook is when you ain't doing nothing. But when you're doing something, that's when it's lit. You see what I'm saying? So y'all can let them fool y'all if they want to, if you want to. You know, any of you that want to do that, you can do it if you want to. But it's not going to be me. Ain't nothing happening. Deuces.